splenic flexure. I want to stop here. Doesn't matter if it's dropped. We're going to plow from where the transverse colon should be laying. Then I come down the descending colon and across the top of the pubic ledge. And that's going to be the large circle. Then small circle will clean up around where that is if it's only maybe at the umbilicus area. You're going to feel it. Remember when we went over this, that when we go for the lift, you'll definitely feel. And this area might feel almost like not empty, but a little bit less because I can normally feel it when I'm here. But when we go for the lift, that's when you normally see it the best. So I do my abdominal clearance anyways. Then when I'm going for this lift, I'm going to get stuck. And you're going to see this big band. And it's going to look like a big, thick band coming across. And I know that's going to be the transverse colon. If I'm not getting caught anywhere and my fingers aren't getting stuck as I'm going for the lift, then I know it's in place. But if I'm coming through here and you just see like this almost big worm kind of hang out right here and my fingers are jamming up right here and there's this big band and I'm not just feeling like skin. As I'm getting deep within that tissue, I feel this thick band. I know it's dropped. All right. So we're going to start with the abdominal triangle. And so that's going to be umbilicus, come down through the ileocecal valve to the cecum, back up to the belly button, down the descending colon to the sigmoid. And I'm using these hip bones as a little bit of a backboard to break down those adhesions, the bands and strands that I'm feeling. And then I come across the top of the pubic ledge. A little bit of coconut oil at the beginning, and start off with that nice airplane landing effleurage massage. After I do my airplane landing, I want to do a little bit of abdominal kneading. That abdominal kneading is always in a clockwise motion. Anytime I stop, because when I go in with my elbow, I'm going to be pulling in both directions. I'll be pulling face to side, face to feet, face to face, face to side. So sometimes I will be pulling things back. So anytime I stop, my effleurage massage goes in that clockwise motion to keep everything moving in a fluid direction. So then I just get my thumbs in there, kneading along that abdomen. Okay. Soften that tissue a little bit. I'm going to begin on the umbilicus area. When we're doing the abdomen, remember not to hang out here. This doesn't feel nice. I want you to sink into where you feel that tissue push back at you. I want to match the tension of that tissue depth, and then I begin my work. And I will relieve a little bit of that tension, but I'm not coming out of the tissue. So I'm actually getting pretty deep right now. I'm getting close, like, because she has good, like, abdominal organs that are kind of moving and sliding over each other right now. That I'm getting close. I can feel a little knot, like, kind of just right behind that umbilicus area, rooting down to the spine. Played my angles in the belly button. And now I'm going to head down, about 1 inch down, 1.5 inches down, 1 inch to the right, and that's going to be that ileocecal valve area. I want you to hang out there for a moment as well. And then work all the way to the cecum. It's a big area for a breeding ground for like parasites. Work your way back up to the belly button. And then I'm going to come down the side of that descending colon to the sigmoid. And you can see my guide hand just constantly readjust, keeping that skin taut. Working everything into that sigmoid turn. And then I just want to pivot myself a little bit, face to side a bit more, to come across the top of that pubic ledge area. Wonderful. So now that I've done that, from face to face, pivoting a bit face to side, I'm going to flip over and I'm going to do it again face to feet, face to side. And I'll just run over it quickly on that side. So then, placing my elbow directly, same exact routine. Belly button, starting here. Pulling everything up and in now. Working, I'm feeling a lot more pulling this direction right off in her ileocecal valve than I did on the other side. So I'm going to hang out in that ileocecal valve for a moment. And then work my way down to that cecum. Come back up. And then I'm going to work my way down the descending colon to the sigmoid. At the sigmoid, I'm going to tilt myself to the side, completely face to side, and then work across the top of that pubic ledge. Back to the beginning. You're going to do that from face to feet. We did hip flexors earlier, so we're just going to remove those, but if I was doing hip flexor, I would just stay face to feet right now, and I would go medial, insertion, on top, sartorius gracilis area, and then outside of that hip flexor, and I want to work on that TFL. Face to feet, face to face, flip myself over, vice versa, on the second hip flexor. So I'm going to remove myself, and I'm going to flip back over, because if I finish those hip flexors, I'm going to end here. So now I want to start on that cecum area. And this is where I come up the ascending colon. I'm going to touch on the hepatic flexure. That's going to be liver and gallbladder. Come up to the xiphoid process. This is where people will get a lot of heartburn. This is going to be a great area to focus. You'll feel some crystallization built up on either side of that sternum and just the beginning of the ribs. Then come off that xiphoid process area down under the splenic flexure. That's going to be spleen and stomach. That's going to be more where like people get like colitis and like really bad inflammation. Stop at the end of their ribs. So at the end of that splenic flexure, I want you to lift your elbow up, place it back on this side by the hepatic flexure. But I want to be completely face to side for this one, because then I'm plowing across from where the transverse colon should be laying. Then I'm coming down the descending colon to the sigmoid, hang out there for a moment, and then back across the top of the pubic ledge. So one large circle, but that circle stops, and we replace and come through. Then we go for the small intestine, and then into the umbilicus. Good to go?
When you're plowing across here, are you shaving anything on the river? You're over in the soft tissue, over the liver?
Are you talking about when I'm doing the liver and gallbladder or when I'm doing the transverse?
What you just did, just towards this last thing you did, you said you...
So that would be the transverse colon. So from the soft tissue area across. Because when I was coming up the first time, I had my elbow tucked up on an angle to get the hepatic flexure, liver, and gallbladder.
Okay. The second time through, you come down through.
Once I stop at that splenic flexure, then I come through the soft tissue right here where the transverse colon either is or isn't, because that thing can fall down over time. So I will demo that, starting at the cecum, everyone. Inch by inch, working my way up. Keeping that skin on the ribs taut, because I'm getting at that hepatic flexure right now, so I'm going more on an angle, and I'm carving into that liver and gallbladder area. Touch up on the xiphoid process. I'm going through it a little quick, of course. But this is like the pace that I want you almost working at for your first lap, because your first lap is going to be almost like mapping it out. So then come off, come into the splenic flexure. Work through. I'm getting to the end of that splenic flexure. So I'm stopping. Lift up. I want to be more face to side for here, because now this is when I want to come through that transverse colon area. Placing my elbow face to side. And I want to work directly across. Once I get across from that transverse colon, then I'll go back face to face, pull down the descending colon, getting close to that hip, hanging out where the sigmoid is, and then back across the top of the pubic ledge. Beautiful. So I would do that. You're going to have a specific amount of time. That took me, what, 3 minutes? So you're going to do it 4 or 5 times, the large circle, until I say time. And then we're going to come now into the small intestine and just work. It doesn't matter where you place your elbow, but you're just working all around the belly button and then directly into it. So small intestine, then umbilicus. Work all the way around, pivoting. And then directly into the belly button. It's what? It is? For how long? Maybe like, how long has it been on for? Maybe like 5 more minutes. So, after I did large, small circle, directly in, I'm going to flip myself around and I would do the exact same thing face to feet. And I'll just go over it really quickly face to feet just so you guys get the idea of what it looks like. Always keep some form of connection to the client. Don't step over them. And I am going to do the exact same thing. Reaching over, starting at the cecum, up the ascending colon, hepatic flexure, xiphoid process, splenic flexure, stop here, lift up, come across the transverse colon, down the descending colon, and across the top of the pubic ledge. Specific amount of time for that. Then we go for the small intestine and directly into the umbilicus. And that's pretty much it for the elbow work. The large circle, yes. When you're doing the large circle, yes. Every time, stop. You feel that? It's coming apart. 3, 2, 1. All right. So now I'm pulling up into the xiphoid process area. And then come off into the splenic flexure area. And it's all about feeling with this. You don't got a lot of bones as backboards. So if you haven't practiced on a lot of abdomens, don't be like, I know what I'm going to feel. You have no idea what you're going to feel half the time, but we're really going for those bands and strands, the adhesions that I'm feeling popping and snapping underneath my elbow, because they're in there. And then some people are going to have like fibrotic masses, and then those masses can be pulled apart, but you're going to need to spend a little bit more time working in and trying to find the kind of crack in the knot. So after I did the splenic flexure, lift my elbow up, place back at the beginning of the hepatic flexure, come across the transverse colon. Work all the way across. Hers is where it needs to be because I can feel it right now. There's definitely some stuff in it, but at least it's in position.
Did you feel parasites?
They can, if we do specific protocols like parasite cleanses, like at night when you go to bed, like, do you get itchy? Does your rectum get itchy? Do you drool a lot at night? Those are all signs of having parasites. But we all have parasites. It's good and bad bacteria, guys. But it's the excess stuff, the actual like parasites from getting into like dirty like areas, depending on what you've worked on or been around in your life. If you sleep with your animals, things of that nature. If you own a horse, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. No, I'm joking. What?
So the horse doesn't fit on the bed. I tried.
Yeah, I bet. And then just work across the top of that pubic ledge. And then I can just naturally continue my way up and do the small circle around the small intestine. And then directly into it. So after I do all that, I would just finish with a little.
Stop pooping in your pelvis. It's time to let it go. Shaking like Elvis. Feel the funky flow. Don't let it weigh you down. It's time to take the stage. Free yourself from the chains of your digestion cage. The scoop on poop is the truth you need. Daily cleansing tea is the secret seed. Don't drop your core on the floor, my friend. Let the rhythm move you till the very end. Rocking to the core, the way to be. Find your inner groove with the cleansing spree. Flush out the toxins, let your spirit rise. Feel the funky freedom in your thighs. The scoop on poop is the truth you need. Daily cleansing tea is the secret seed. Don't drop your core on the floor, my friend. Let the rhythm move you till the very end. Let it out, let it flow, don't hold it back. A little funky movement keeps you on track. Shake those hips, let the toxins slide. Groove with the beat, let your soul collide. The scoop on poop is the truth you need. Daily cleansing tea is the secret.